Welcome everybody, I'm your host Lockwasher. Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Snap-on soft handle, or soft grip, excuse me, terminal tool. Or, well, they have multiple of these. They call them just soft grip terminal tools, but this one is, in particular, the Seam Ripper. This is my home model, and this one is the more used, my model at the shop that unfortunately this week it broke. So yeah, she's gonna have to go off for a warranty. And speaking of warranties, unfortunately this tool has been warranted 3 times now. Here's the part number right there if you guys are interested in looking this up yourself. But the tip at the end, unfortunately, is not the strongest in the world, and if you're using the tool just slightly improperly, or if you run into a little bit of dirt and debris on the end, you will snap it off like I did here. Now, I will tell you this, because unfortunately this happened on Wednesday, and that's the day that Snap-on comes by. It happened, of course, after the truck had left. I've still been able to use this tool about 3 or 4 times. Granted, with mixed results, but even with having that tip snapped off of there, you know, I've been able to get by. I've been able to make it work, but unfortunately, she's going to be going in and getting replaced once again. So that is definitely a issue I've been having with this, but then again, I could be using the tool completely wrong. I mean, it's a seam ripper. How else do you use a seam ripper? But those of you who don't understand why you would need a seam ripper and the essence of doing automotive wiring, here, I have a great example for you. Here we have the end of a tractor trailer 7-way connection that was going into the garbage because it was destroyed, and I lobbed off one end for demonstrations in this video to show you guys what this tool is all about. So you're going to take your little seam ripper here. You can see I did a little test hit right there, and you're going to make sure all your extremities are out of the way. You get it in right there, and then you can nice and easily cut through. And then that will allow you to separate your insulation and the outside of a well-protected wiring loom without risking taking a knife blade and 1, cutting yourself, or 2, cutting into the wiring and damaging the wiring connections you are trying to get to. So that's the main benefit of this little sucker and what she does. I mean, it's not for piercing wires. It's not for trying to, you know, cut open your lunch bag. No, it is purely for getting open wiring insulation so you can get in there and work on them. Now, have I used them as an actual seam ripper when it comes to the profession of tailoring? I have not. I'm a mechanic. I barely know how to do a blanket stitch. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that smart. Now, getting this all out of the way, so kind of the meat and potatoes of it. The handle is one of Snap-on's basic screwdriver grips that they have nowadays with their soft grip screwdrivers. So very comfortable, very ergonomic, and you know, if you're somebody who's very accustomed to their handles, unlike myself, I really don't prefer them so much. I'm more towards the cornroll handles, but please don't sue me for that one. Sorry guys, that's just my personal preference. But if that's what you guys like, yeah, it's got that handle shape, and you know, I have decently sized hands and it fits in the hand quite well. I like that a lot. Now, some of you guys are wondering, why would I go buy a Snap-on seam ripper? Why can't I just go to Joann's or any other kind of fabric supply shop and just buy one, or a Walmart one, or whatever? Why I went with this? One, at the time I needed it. It was just purely one of those, oh crap, I need to cut open this wiring loom, but I don't want to damage anything. Oh, Snap-on's here. Let me go hop on the truck. Seen this. Went, you know what? Screw it. I'll get it. And right now, at the time of this video, this little sucker is going for $18.25. So, yeah, fair warning, guys. You know, this is definitely one of those tool purchases that your old lady might look at you and say, you're a moron. But, you know, what she doesn't know doesn't hurt you, right? Right. And reason number 2 for why I got this was the handle itself. I didn't want a flimsy, like, pen handle style, you know, seam ripper. I wanted something I can really get a good grip on, because a lot of times I'm tearing into wiring looms that have 30-40 wires in them, or like with that 7-way cable where it's some heavy duty rubber, and I need to get through that stuff without breaking the wiring. So that was the biggest reason why I went with this, and I continue to go with the seam ripper for doing terminal tools. Oh, also, if it actually matters to you, this sucker's made in the USA, so a lot of Snap-on tools are. But yeah, that's something that matters to you at all. But yeah, those are the reasonings why I picked up this tool. And I'd say for pros, great grip. The metal is, yeah, it's fair and decent. You know, US made steel, whatever, you know, if that's what you're into. But yeah, pros of it, good use. If you use it correctly, it lasts a while. And the handle's got a good feel to it. Now going into the cons of this tool. Now, price point. It's 2024 and you're paying almost $20 for a seam ripper. I understand Snap-on, I understand it's USA made. Still, ouch, that sucks. So yeah, there's that con. Another con of it is if you're not using it completely properly, you are going to break it. I've broke these enough times to know that any slight deviation from how you should be using a seam ripper with, you know, the good push like that, you're going to break this thing. If you flip it around and use it the wrong way, you're going to break it. If you're sitting there prodding and stuff like that, you're going to break it. Plain and simple. No other way to skin that cat. That's how it breaks. It breaks pretty dang easily. You got to be careful using this tool in general when you're doing wiring, but you got to be careful not to break your tool. Otherwise, you're going to be like me and somehow try to get that little bit of a blade left. Come on, focus, you jerk. There we go. To get in there in the wires and get them cut. So, yeah, that's definitely a con on that side of things. Kind of a pain on that end. Another issue I do have with these is when you do break this, so I guess it's kind of with that same con, when you do break this, finding that tip in the loom you snapped it off in is not exactly an easy feat. Trust me, from experience, I know. Just so again, use it properly, don't break it. But another con after that, and I've kind of touched on this as well, this is definitely one of those tools that if your significant other wants to know every tool purchase you make, I'm going to warn you, it might not be pretty. They're probably going to be like, we have seam ripper at home, or you could have went to Walmart, or you could have went elsewhere, bought one for 98 cents. I think, heck, on Amazon, they're like $1 a piece. So I'm going to warn you, they might have a problem with that, especially if you guys share finances. So if they're completely cool with it, trust me, you got to keep her. Trust me. So just another con to add into that little dealy. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that's the only really issues I've had with this tool so far. And I think when I first got these, got my first one was probably a year and a half ago. And, you know, I don't do wiring every single day, but to only break it, I think yeah, I want to say this is number 4 this time. Yeah, to break it only 4 times, that's not bad. Now, my home one, you know, I've only done, since I've got this sucker for home, any serious wiring like 3 times since I've had to get this thing. And as you guys can see, still decently sharp, still decently good. You know, holds up great. And I've been making sure to use it properly, and it hasn't broke. And I mean, you know, trust me, it's not dull by any means, you know. Holds up great. I'm gonna have to clean that off. Okay, maybe that was a mistake. Yeah, for demonstration purposes, it's not dull. It's held up and does great. And then this one, you know, see, punctures right in. I mean, granted, a chicken taquito is probably not a great representation of sharpness, but you get the point, I hope. But in conclusion, if I was to give the Snap-on soft grip terminal tool, well, the seam ripper version of those, because there's multiple of these, but they're all different style tools, But I digress. If I was to give this a 1 out of 10 being the worst tool in the world and a 10 out of 10 being God's gift to Earth when it comes to tools, honestly, guys, I give this a solid 8. You know, having it break as easily as it's broken due to just any slight deviation from just a proper cut is annoying. And especially for $80, I mean, a tool that is almost 20 flipping dollars. So, but you get the lifetime warranty. So I will say that. And, you know, my dealer gives me a lot of crap when I break these, but at the same time, every time he's got one to replace it. So I do love that factoid of that. You're paying for a pretty good warranty there, but the price is still pretty steep. And again, easy to break. But those things aside, amazing tool, amazing to work with. It cuts flawlessly until, you know, things get really, really gummed up and hairy. But at that point in time, I would say, you know, clean it all up before you start cutting, especially keep all that gunk out of your wiring. But yeah, no, it's an awesome little tool. I love using it, and that's why I have one for home, and I have one in the box at work. But yeah, I'm probably going to take this one to work till Wednesday, and I can get this one replaced. But all in all, yeah, absolutely solid tool, as long as there's no operator errors involved. Well, thank you all so very much for watching. I really appreciate you guys checking out another video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, and please leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this video and think about this tool, and if you have one, tell me what your opinion is on it. And if you think this is a waste of money, by all means, let me know. I may or may not agree with some of the opinions about that, even though it's done great for me. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Please consider subscribing. Really helps me out. I do other videos on my Drift Mazda Miata build series, as well as more tool review videos such as this one, as well as anytime I could be turning a wrench and can have a video camera going so I can take you guys along for some entertainment, I try to do that as well. Well, thanks again for watching. Y'all have a good one.